Yote! Incredible!
Good evening all and welcome to the Big Toon Chat. I'm joined by AJ. How are you doing, AJ?
I'm good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. And Stephen from the Geordie Talk YouTube channel. How are you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thanks for asking. So, I don't really know where you want to start. Should we start on a positive note, or has anybody got anything they want to get off their chest? Any sort of issues going on day-to-day life? Should we sort of talk about that for now, or should we go straight to last night's game?
Less said about that game, the better. But
Okay. Oh, my light's gone out. Hang on, my light's gone out for some reason. Can you still see us? Yeah.
yeah.
Right. I'll just stay like this. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So, yes, AJ, your messages this morning saying that you've got a lot to get off your chest. So, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the starting lineup? What did you think of the starting lineup for Newcastle against Chelsea last night?
I mean, it's a tough one because obviously after the game, I mean, it's easy to sort of nitpick after performances after the game, but I mean, for me, I definitely would have started Ryan. I don't know why I didn't start with Ryan Fraser. I mean, he looked pretty up for it when he come on the pitch. I mean, maybe that little pep talk from Graham Jones maybe triggered that, I think. But I definitely would have started with Fraser last night. I think tactically, he got quite a lot of things wrong last night. I mean, obviously that right back position. I mean, Emil Graf got absolutely striped by Timo Werner. I mean, you could see that within the first 15 minutes, and I mean, something needed changing drastically there. You could see that from the get-go. Whether Chelsea have targeted Graf at right back, which they probably would have done, and I mean, you could see that. I mean, after last night's performance, I mean, I don't think we've actually got another option at right back, but I would go with someone else. It was that bad. Yeah. I would even play Murphy at right back.
That's a shout as well. That's a shout.
Honestly, I would. I mean, it happened to both fullbacks like, and look, I've come in here. Of course, we want to see us attack teams and play in the right manner. But there comes a time where you come up against a Chelsea team who are, man for man, obviously better than us, of course. But I mean, the two fullbacks last night were really on a hiding for nothing, because they just got really exposed, getting really. They were almost like doubled up on last night, like in the attacking sense, by Werner playing in that left high position, and then Alonso joining in attacks with Graf not really getting any help, and the same happened on the other side with Lewis. And I mean, St. Maximin's not really going to help his fullback out for long periods of the game.
Yeah.
And he was another one last night that got sort of, I wouldn't say found out, but I think Newcastle tactically got found out last night because it seems as soon as we get the ball, we'll look for St. Maximin, and as soon as St. Maximin got the ball, there was 3 players around him straight away. And I mean, that would have been something that Thomas Tuchel would have looked at before leading up to this game. And you could see that. Yeah. Just a better tactically aware of things that they needed to do in games. And that comes from just being a better manager. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Newcastle...
So, Stephen, obviously, sorry, AJ, just to cut you off there. Have a breath. We'll come back to you. Stephen, obviously, Lascelles came in for a shot and Clark came in as well. What did you think of the centre-half pairing there? Did you agree with it, or...?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fernandez was quite fit, so I think that was the best centre-back pairing we had available to us. I know Clark was away last week with his partner had given birth, and Lascelles had come back from like an injury what he suffered. So I think that was a better sit in the back pair, and like what we can put out now is really down to the bare bones in defence, centre defence. And I kind of say when Lascelles made that challenge, people saying that should have been a penalty, which it wasn't. I mean,
it definitely wasn't.
I mean, Tammy Abraham went looking for that. He's like, you could say in the replays, stuck his leg out to try and initiate the contact with Lascelles' leg to try and bring him down, and Lascelles got the ball cleanly, and he's there rolling around on the floor crying for a penalty, but it wasn't a penalty 100%, but where just didn't look anything like we can play. I mean, that Chelsea team and the way we've been playing recently, I would have fancied us to try and get a point out of it, at least have a good go. I mean, like AJ said, when Sam Maximan got the ball, you usually had 2-3 men around him. You had to pass it back or sideways. He had no room to work his magic. So it was always going to be a tough game, and it doesn't get any easier with Man United away on Sunday, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose obviously with Alan Sam Maximan, he sort of went missing in the game for me. He didn't really do much. When he did have the ball, he sort of like tried to take on everybody. Didn't look for a pass or anything. And obviously he got doubled up on, which didn't really help. And then Gale going forward as well in the front line. Dwight Gale, I forgot he was playing at half time. He didn't do much. He didn't look for the ball. And he just tried too hard, but he got nowhere in the game. And I think he's a championship striker playing for a Premier League club. And I just don't agree with that.
I've always said this. He's always been a championship striker. I mean, he's deadly at the championship. That's his level. I mean, I've said this many times to other people. He's a championship striker playing in the Premier League, which when Newcastle signed him to get us back up into the Premier League, it was a prolific striker. He got 23 goals for Newcastle and then came back up. Then when he signed on loan to West Brom, when they were in the Championship, he was knocking goals in left, right and centre for them. So that's his level. You can tell 100% that's Dwight Gale's level. He's not a Premier League striker. You may think he is, but he's just not.
AJ, obviously Dwight Gale was linked with Fulham in the transfer window. Do you think Fulham are a championship side that need a championship striker? Do you think they can catch us up?
I mean, Neville and Carragher touched on it last night in commentary. But I mean, these next 2 to 3 games for Fulham are pivotal, I think, to their season. I think, honestly, I mean, if they win the next 2 games, we're in big trouble.
Definitely.
Big trouble. I mean, last night just proved how key Callum Wilson is to this team, and I think without him, I really see us struggling. Because I think Steve Bruce will really struggle to find someone who will ultimately find the back of the net. And obviously, we all know that obviously scoring goals is massive. It's a tough one, but I mean, you'd have to go on current form. Yeah, I can see Fulham getting out of it. But like I said, the next 2 to 3 games for them is key because their run after that's really tough.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, with the way they're playing, I mean, they could. I mean, even after this little run where you'd expect them maybe to pick up points, they could get results against top teams as well. Why not?
Just touching on the Gale subject there, obviously James Lewis, thanks for the message, James. He says, I don't think Callum Wilson would achieve much against Chelsea, to be fair. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Stephen.
Sorry, AJ. Sorry.
It's all right.
I wouldn't think he would have had much impact the way we were playing. I don't think he'd have, like I said, I've had much of an impact because the way we were playing, we knew we were going to get outclassed by Chelsea with the quality in that team, the players they have. Callum Wilson would have just been isolated again. I mean, they would have tried to get up and help them in attack, but it would have. I don't think it would have made a blind bit of difference if he was playing or not. Sorry, AJ.
No, that's all right. I mean, I disagree. I think Callum Wilson. I mean, I think the game would have been totally different if Callum Wilson had been playing. I think he offers something different. Definitely to Dwight Gale, who offered absolutely nothing. I couldn't even tell you where he was playing last night. I mean, he was right wing at times. Then he was sort of drifting back into sort of number 9 role, but wasn't even looking to get in behind, which I think Callum Wilson looks to do that all the time, looks to play on the shoulder, making them runs and behinds. But I mean, it's one of them. We don't know if he would have made the difference or not, but I think he definitely would have offered more than Dwight Gale did last night. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Stephen, there's a question for you. Who do you think was our best player? Would you see it on the night?
I would say Joe Willock myself.
Okay, yeah.
I think he played well. I mean, he was alongside Shelvey and that, but he had Newcastle's best chance, didn't he, in the second half with his header. Just keeper was scrambling across his goal, just saved it, like tipped it on the post. But I thought he was the man of the match for me, Joe Willock. He had another good game, and though we've been beat, he still tried though. That's what I don't mind about Joe Willock. He always likes to get about the pitch, like box to box. He'd be my man of the match anyway. I don't think anybody else really stood out to claim it over him. I don't think.
AJ, same question.
No, I don't think anyone stood out really. It's a tough one. I think everyone was pretty poor, but I think I'd probably go for Isaac Hayden. I think at times he gave the ball away a few times, but you could see the fight was there, sticking in a few tackles, looked like he was up for the fight and showing a bit of passion. And I think I would just give it to him just on that basis. But yeah, it's a tough one because I thought everyone was pretty poor last night.
Just looking on Twitter last night as well, a lot of people were calling for Isaac Hayden to be given the captain's armband. Would you give him the captain's armband, AJ? Do you think he's captain material?
I think he's definitely captain material. He shows a lot of leadership on the pitch for sure. But I mean, it's one of them. I mean, they're not going to. The captain's not going to get changed mid-season or anything like that. So that would just be something that I think maybe looked at in the future. But I think he's definitely a future captain of Newcastle. Definitely.
Stephen, who do you think is a future captain of Newcastle?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with AJ. I mean, Isaac Hayden. I mean, you know what you're going to get with Isaac. I mean, he's always proved since he signed for Newcastle under Rafa, he's always been one of those players that's been Mr. Dependable. I mean, he's absolutely deserved that new contract he's got. When he was wanting to leave, like murmurs, he was wanting to leave to move closer to his family, to be closer to his daughter. I mean, I didn't have any qualms with that. If he wanted to go and be closer to his family, then by all means. But he never once moaned. He kept his head down, kept working, and he never heard any more about him wanting to leave. And then next thing you say, he signed a new contract with. He's saying he's very happy at the club, and I would, at my personal opinion, he deserves to be captain. I mean, Lascelles has been captain since the Rafa days. I don't think Steve Bruce would have dared take it off him, to be honest, because he's a gutless human being anyway. But but I still say Isaac Hayden would deserve it, though.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen his reaction yesterday after the first goal when he just walked away with his hands, like his head in his hands, like just no ambition, no shouting towards the team.
Passion, like fight to try and G the players up or anything. And we said, "Come on, we'll only a goal down. We'll get back into this." And there's nothing like that with him.
Yeah, you could. Lee Ryder put out a tweet last night about a Chelsea corner, and it was Dwight Gale that could be the only one heard on the pitch for Newcastle. Nobody else shouting, giving instructions or anything. It was Dwight Gale of all people. Now that's just mad if you ask me. I just don't think it should be that sort of player. It should be the likes of Lascelles, Clark, Darlow organising the team on a corner, things like that.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Kev.
AJ, just moving on to the Chelsea team, were you surprised that Kepa started in goal?
Yeah, I think everybody was. Gary Neville was flabbergasted in commentary before the game. It's a funny one. I heard Thomas Tuchel's interview after the game, and he was saying he's just wanting to get his feet under the table and get used to Chelsea's new system and maybe build him a bit of confidence. And it's a real funny one. I don't think I've really ever heard that before. But it was a bit of an incentive for Newcastle to sort of test him. But we didn't test him at all. We made one save, and it was actually it was a decent save actually. But we didn't test him all night. Which was, it is what it is. But
yeah, I've got to say that when I seen the Chelsea starting defence, the Azpilicueta, Rudiger, and Christensen, I thought we could have a right good go here. But obviously, we just didn't create anything at all. That was the frustration part.
Even Azpilicueta was getting up and down the line. He's getting on Azpilicueta, isn't he? To have that pace to get up and down the line, well, Sam Maximan should have really just skinned him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he managed to get past him once or even twice, he would have been in, would have scored. Because he had 3 men on him, so he can't do nothing. That completely nullifies Maxi when there's players around him and he just can't do nothing with it. I know he's good, but he's not that good. He's not a magician. We'd like to think he is.
AJ, what did you think of the first goal for Chelsea? Do you think they deserved it?
I think ultimately they did. It was constant pressure from Chelsea. They didn't really create any clear-cut chances, but they were doing the right things. They were probing. Like I said, constantly getting down that left side, and Emil Graf getting exposed constantly by Timo Werner. So ultimately, it was going to come. It was just a matter of when. To be fair, I don't think Thomas Tuchel was very happy second half. I don't think they played very well second half, Chelsea. I don't know whether that was down to Newcastle being a little bit more aggressive in their pressing, which is how they should have started the game. I don't know why they didn't start the game in that way. Just absolutely baffling as to why. Just sat off Chelsea and just let them have the ball. I can't understand that. I really can't. I understand it's sometimes hard playing against top teams who've got top players and they push you back in your own half, and it's hard to get out. But I just didn't see anything from Newcastle first half. No passion, no energy or anything to get in Chelsea's face. Second half, we started the second half how we should have started the first half, and they made a few mistakes at the back and gave the ball away high up the pitch, and we were sort of got in some decent areas, and if we had that sort of final ball in the final third, we would have created a little bit more. But we should have started the game like that. That's how we've been starting the game in the last sort of 3 or 4 games. And we just didn't get going at all. It's almost like, we're playing Chelsea. We'll show them a bit of respect and sort of just let them have the ball. But you can't do that against top teams. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And that's what frustrated me about last night. It was, of course, we don't expect Newcastle to go to Stamford Bridge and win. But we expect them to go and do the things and the things they have been doing the last sort of 3 or 4 games, which they didn't do last night. The first half was absolutely shocking.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you. So we've got another question from James Lewis. Thanks, James, for watching. It will pop up on screen in a second. It says, if you could have changed any 3 of our starting lineup, who would have been and who for? Stephen, do you want to take this?
I would have had, obviously, Martin Dubravka green goal. I know, Darlow's done really well since he's coming out. I don't have a gripe with Darlow, but I just think he's starting to slip up a little bit now. He can feel Dubravka breathing down his neck. Dubravka ain't going to sit on the bench much longer. He's itching to get back in that first team, and we could have done with someone of his quality last night to come and claim the ball. Even his distribution would have... Because have you seen Darlow recently where he kicks the ball out from a goal kick and he just goes straight out for the throw into the opposition? Well, that just not kills the attack anyway. But for the second out of... Like AJ touched on, I would have probably taken left Kraft out and put Jacob Murphy at right back. He's played there before, hasn't he? So he's where I had a bit pace going the other way if we needed support and attack. But for the third player, I'd have probably had Fraser in for Dwight Gale. So like I said, Dwight Gale did nothing that game.
Yeah, he did. He went missing. That's what I said earlier on. AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would have. I mean, it's a hard one because I mean we're sort of discussing changes and that after we've seen the game. I mean, we don't know how they're going to perform. We didn't expect them to perform like that last night. So, I mean, it's easy to say. I would have changed. I would have stuck Murphy in for Emil Graf. Obviously, I mean Emil Graf was well below par last night. And I mean, in hindsight, I would have changed. I would have probably played Fraser instead of Dwight Gale. But then you've got the issue of who do you stick up top. I mean, I don't think it really matters who you stick up top. They would have done a better job than Dwight Gale. Probably even Joe Linton would have done a better job than Dwight Gale. I think it's like I said, it's a tough one after watching the performance and trying to see what changes you would have made and etc.
Okay, so just going off the Darlow thing that Stephen mentioned, I was all for defending Darlow until last night. He'd made a lot of mistakes, and I just think it's time for Dubravka to come back in. I think I've sort of lost patience with Darlow now. He's just hoofing the ball anywhere whenever he gets a chance. He's not as good as what he was earlier on in the season. And I just think it is. I think it will come a time when Dubravka sort of like loses patience for Newcastle. And James has said it there. He did parry the ball across the box for the first goal. But I think he will lose patience, and I think he'll end up wanting to leave. And I think if he leaves, that'll be a massive loss for Newcastle.
Yeah, agree. And you say what Dubravka brings to Newcastle, even on his debut. I mean, it was a year not long ago since we beat Man United 1-0, and it was Dubravka's debut. And you say how much of an impact he made just on his debut. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He's been absolutely excellent since he signed for Newcastle. He's one of my favourite players. For what he does for the team, he shouts back and orders, comes and claims the balls when he can, punches clearly, makes outstanding saves what he shouldn't even make, shouldn't even get to, but he's one of those players. It was, like I say, it was an absolute bargain to find him. To get him on a season's loan, half a season loan, then to sign him up for £4 million at the end of that loan, that just represents a fantastic bit of business. That's brilliant bit of business for me.
4 million well spent.
Yeah, 4 million definitely well spent.
Yeah. Do you think, obviously James has just mentioned there, I've just switched it over there, that people says they were happy with the lineup beforehand. Were you too happy with the lineup?
You'll go AJ now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with injuries in certain areas and not having the personnel in certain areas, I think, apart from Fraser, to be honest with you, I definitely would have played Fraser last night because he's got a lot of energy. He's quick.
Yeah.
He closes people down quick. He likes to press.
He looked very sharp when he came on as well.
Yeah, he did. And I think, to be fair, I think he was unlucky to be dropped in the first place. obviously.
Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, probably. I mean, happy like AJ just said there with Fraser. Like you say, when he came on, he was bright, he was busy, he was like you say, closing down, he was doing everything. It's just a shame he didn't start the games. I think he would have more better impact than what Dwight Gale did in the game. I love his little hairstyle. He's like got a Neymar going on, or he's got a Aguero going on, hasn't he? I seen when he first got, he was getting the piss taken out of him because he got the Aguero look.
Yeah.
But I like Fraser. I've always liked him. Just when Callum Wilson and him was both on the pitch, he seemed to play well. I mean, when he played against Everton, I thought that Fraser was brilliant and supplying that ball across the box against Everton. Well, Wilson just put past the pause, which he should have scored. Really, that was a brilliant ball. Like, it was a quick counter attack. But I've always liked Fraser. I was very happy when Newcastle signed him. I just hope he gets a lot more game time. I know he's had his bad luck with injuries, but I'm hoping he can get a more decent run in the team because you're saying the Ryan Fraser at Bournemouth, he's absolutely brilliant. He can score goals, and I just hope he can do that for us.
Uh-huh. AJ, do you think when Dubravka was injured, Darlow was playing with confidence and not fighting for the position, and now that he's fit, do you think Darlow's starting to feel the pressure a bit?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely think that Dubravka shows a lot more leadership qualities than Darlow does. And I think that's what we need. We need leaders on and off the pitch to get us out of this. Well, hopefully we're not going to be in a deep relegation scrap, but I mean, it could possibly be that case. But we need leaders. To me, we've got very few. From what you can see on the pitch, from what comes out of obviously the press who are there at the grounds watching the games. We need to see more. Well, we need to see more from the captain. We need to see more from the manager. 100%. See absolutely nothing from Steve Bruce on the sidelines. Just nothing. Just a shrug of the shoulders.
Yeah.
Just a lot of facial expressions, but just absolutely nothing in terms of like orchestrating the team. I mean, I honestly ran out of words for the bloke. I really have. And what do we do? We're going to be in a position where what do we do? Do we stick or twist? And if we're gonna twist, we need to do it now.
Yeah.
We can't wait for Fulham to sort of, let's best case scenario win the next two games and they're within a point of us, and then so obviously we probably of course expect to get beat off United on Sunday, and then I think we've maybe got a string of games where we're expected to get things, and then where do we go from there? I mean, we're going to be in a position where what do you give a manager 6 or 7 games to get us out of it?
He's had too many games already, I think. I think he should have gone after the Sheffield United game or even after the Brentford game.
100%.
He should have gone then. Because he's absolutely atrocious. I mean, like you just touched on there, AJ. Just stood on the side, on the touchline, hands in his pockets, same blank, faceless expression. Like, he doesn't have a clue. Absolutely does not have a clue what he's doing to manage that team correctly. You say Graham Jones, assistant manager, assistant team coach, whatever you want to call him. He done more for that team in however long he's been there, a few weeks. He's done more for that team in a few weeks than he's done in 19 months. So that tells you all you need to know about Steve Bruce. I mean, I don't want to turn it into a Steve Bruce rant, but he just boils my piss, that man.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you run away. I mean, he ultimately is. He's not the entire problem, of course. I mean, ultimately the problem is Mike Ashley. But I mean, in terms of where we are in the league, I mean, I think 95% of it is down to Steve Bruce.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, AJ. It's
at times players have to take responsibility. Of course they do, but I mean, some of the performances we've seen this season. My God,
atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Played 5 at the back against teams should be going attacking. In Sheffield United, that really, I don't want to swear, that really annoyed the hell out of me. 5 at the back against a team that hadn't won all season, and we're going to get beat 1-0. Absolutely atrocious. God.
Just touching on that, AJ, just what Stephen just mentioned there. So, if Steve Bruce was to go, who's next in line, do you think? Do you think it's going to be Graham Jones, obviously, why he was brought in for such a small fee, or do you think they're going to go shopping elsewhere? What do you think?
Yeah.
I would 100% get Eddie Howe in.
Yeah.
I'll get him in now.
Stephen, sorry, go on, AJ.
Anybody but Steve Bruce. Give it to Graham Jones. I'm sure he'll do a better job than Steve Bruce. Seems to have the players on side. Seem to be buying into a lot of things that he's been saying in training, and buying into a lot of things that he's shouting from the touchline. So why not? I think Steve Bruce is just a disruption, to be honest with you. I think he lets his own ego get in the way of what's best for the team, what's best for Newcastle. I mean, you can see it. We can see it from the sideline. I mean, Graham Jones giving out instructions. A couple of weeks ago, and you can just see it. I just
you get to like my age,
honestly, just so frustrating.
Yeah.
So, just coming back onto the Chelsea game, I know we took a small diversion away from that, but the Chelsea game, obviously Giroud scored, and then Werner scored after all these games where he hasn't scored. 14 games, and then Newcastle come to town, and he's on the score sheet.
It's not a coincidence, is it? Werner comes in and scores when he hasn't scored for God knows how long. Ollie Watkins hadn't scored in 10 games. He scored against Newcastle. Sheffield United hadn't won all season. Look what they did. They won. It was a show to something else as well, where we just love for other teams to pick up points against us or get goals or something. It's ridiculous.
Okay. James has sent another message to her, asking another question. So we've got Bruce aside, we have Lascelles as captain, or if he isn't there, Shelby, Dumb and Dumber. But which player in our regular 11 could it be? We need a motivator, someone to take control when Bruce isn't. So, who's the person that's going to be the motivator out of the team if Lascelles and Shelby on there? Who's gonna cheer them up?
Hayden, I would say.
Who? Sorry.
Hayden, Isaac Hayden.
Isaac Hayden, yeah. I think he's been our best player all season.
Yeah, he's more of a leader than Lascelles and Shelby put together. You say Shelby when he's as a captain's armband. When he's being vice captain, he does nothing. He doesn't shout at the players. He doesn't orchestrate them or do nothing like that. He's still taking poxy halfway line shots, thinking he's David Beckham or something. Last night he took a poxy halfway line shot, being a goal down. Absolutely atrocious. But then, he's right. James is right. They're dumb and dumber. But you say it's Isaac Hayden all the way for me. You can tell he's a natural born leader, and that's what we need. We need somebody to really get the players and grab hold of them and say, get your effing fingers out and start playing for this shirt. Said, because the way we're playing right now, he said he's not good enough. Even though we start to play more expansive attacking football, which is taking 19 months. But you say Isaac Hayden all the way. For me.
Yeah. AJ, do you think people like Shelby and Lascelles, do you think the game's getting too quick for them now that they're getting on a bit? Do you think that the pace has quickened up and they're sort of struggling to keep up with the pace?
Yeah, Shelby's always struggled to play against teams like last night, like Chelsea. At times, I mean, it was like he wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Like Kovacic and Jorginho and.
I'm just gonna jump in there. Kovacic, I thought got man of the match yesterday. He was
Oh, he's
unbelievable.
absolutely
He
fantastic.
bossed the midfield.
Nah, quality, absolutely quality. No one could get anywhere near him. Just turn the pace. His passing ability. Couldn't get anywhere near him. It was so easy for Chelsea in the middle of the park last night. Just absolutely ridiculous how easy it was. And I mean, I think Shelby's probably he does struggle, doesn't he? Against teams like that. He's all right at home when we're playing against the lesser teams when we have more of the ball. But against teams where we're sort of haven't got the ball for large periods of the game, he really struggles because it's just not what he's about. He doesn't press. And when he does, he's late into challenges, and he's just way off the pace.
Yeah. So, Stephen, just going off James's next little question there. I mean, if James wants to come on sometime, he's more than welcome to. But do you think Steve Bruce is scared to take the armband off the players? So,
I think he is. He tries to make out he's one of the lads, Steve Bruce. I mean, that's well documented. But Rafa gave him it out of his leadership skills again in that Southampton game where we were hammered in that game, and he really let fly to the players in the dressing room, say you play for this club and all this, yada yada yada. That's why what Rafa's saying in him to give him the armband, and he's kept it all these seasons, even after Rafa's left. I would think it's best to change it up, but I think Bruce is just fighting stiff to take it off Lascelles, to be honest. You say if he took it off Lascelles and give it to Hayden, that team would be a lot better. You know what Hayden is all about, like I said earlier. But I think he is scared. There's an element of he doesn't want to upset the apple cart. Well, I think he's upset the apple cart enough, not just with the players, but the fan base as well. We shouldn't be nowhere near. Sorry.
No, go on. It's fine.
We shouldn't be anywhere near this. Shouldn't be in a relegation battle. It's absolutely ludicrous to think anybody else with a run of form we've been on get 2 wins in so many games. It's relegation form, and the manager should have gone for it. I can understand to a degree with Ashley wanting to keep the man, obviously, so he protects his asset if this takeover eventually goes through. But I think he's still taking a big risk. Like I said, he should have gone. But for the armband situation, he is scared to take it away from Lascelles.
I think I agree with you there. I think if he was to take the armband off Lascelles, personally, I think he would drop him as well. I don't even think he deserves to be one of our centre backs. I think there's 2 better players, Clark and Fernandes together. I think they're better than what Lascelles is. Like I said before, I think he's struggling with the pace. I don't think he's sort of like got the ambition to be a Premier League defender anymore. I think he's sort of whittling down. He's had COVID. He's taken a while to recover from that as well. So do you think, AJ, that Steve Bruce would drop Lascelles if he took the armband off him?
No, I don't think Steve Bruce has got the. I don't think he's got the balls to do it. I mean, Steve Bruce should be a leader. He should be the leader off the pitch. 100%. He's the manager of Newcastle. But I don't think he has them skills. I don't see it. I mean, he needs to. A manager does what's best for the team and does what's best for the club. No matter what he thinks, no matter what sort of who he's going to upset or them sort of things. I mean, sentiment just doesn't come into it. But I think with Steve Bruce it does. But it shouldn't. But I think Stephen's right. Lascelles is not. I think there's 2 different centre backs better than him. When Fernandes is back fit, Fernandes and Clark, I think will go in there hopefully. But yeah, like I said, Steve Bruce is not a leader.
Yeah. How long we're going to give him then? Like, do you think he's going to last till the end of the season if Newcastle get dragged into the bottom three? Do you think Mike Ashley will take action? Do you think Graham Jones will take over till the end of the season? I mean, there's so many what ifs and buts, isn't there? I mean, you don't really know what's going to happen with Newcastle, but what do you think, Stephen?
Well, I don't think he ain't going to get the sack, no matter how bad it's going to get. If we start going another losing run of games, he isn't going to get sacked. Let's just face it. He's there at the end of the season, pending a takeover. That's what he's there for. I would love for him to get sacked now. Obviously, everybody else would. And say Graham Jones take over the end of the season, get us safe, get us in maybe 15th or something, 14th, 15th position, get us clear of relegation, so that's not a factor anymore. But like you say, I would like you say, you know my thoughts on Bruce.
Yeah,
I'd have got rid of him ages ago, and at least had somebody just to take over till Jones come in. Cause he has managed a team before. He's not. It's not an alien concept to him. He knows how to manage a team. We know that just from buying his assistant role. He knows how to set up a team. He knows how to prioritise tactics. Tell the players who to mark, who not to mark. He's got all that. Steve Bruce may think he's got all that in his locker. In quite clearly, he hasn't. Because if he had all that in his locker, we wouldn't be anywhere near this in this debacle.
Yeah.
I don't know how you lads feel, but I mean, I just feel so dejected as a fan. Like, I mean, like last night, I mean, the second half, I mean, I wasn't even like paying attention to the telly. Normally, I'm glued. Like, I don't want to miss anything. But last night, I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to watch it because we're not going to see anything different. They're not going to do the unexpected. They're not going to like grab 2 goals in like the last 10 minutes. You just know, like, it's so depressing as a fan at the minute because you think like, yeah, we've got hopefully a takeover to look forward to, but my God, we could be in the fucking championship. Like, and I mean, if that happens, I mean, say goodbye to a takeover because that ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And it's just like where do we go from here? I mean, like Man United on Sunday. Well,
you expect nothing out of it, do you, AJ?
I don't even want to watch. I don't even honestly on Sunday. I don't even want to watch.
No, I don't think I'll watch it myself.
Like obviously,
it's not on TV, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No bad.
I think it is Sunday night. I think, but like I
know it's not on. It's not on Sky Sports. It must be on BT Sport then.
I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if BT have Sunday games. Like maybe it's not on telly, but I'm sure it is.
I thought every game was on Sky. Every Sky and BT had all the games, didn't he? With all this big picture going on and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But like I don't know what you lads think, but like just from top to bottom, just the club is just such a mess. Like it really is. I mean, I mean, God, we've had some awful seasons, haven't we? Like, God, like the McLaren season, like the relegation seasons. But like, God's sake, even when we got relegated under Rafa, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you lads were there last game of the season. God, it was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last game of the season to win 5-1, relegation confirmed. Win 5-1. St James is packed. And singing Rafa's name to get him to stay, that was just mesmerising for me. It was fantastic. I even cried a little bit when... Obviously, I cried a little when Takeover was confirmed. Relegation was confirmed. But that...
Stephen, I bet you're the sort of person that cried when Bambi died as well.
I've never seen Bambi. I've never been into my Disney films. I think I'll cry when the takeover, if the takeover's confirmed. I think I will.
Yeah, I mean, AJ, you are right. I mean, sometimes like if the football is on Sky, I'd more than happy look forward to watch it. There'll be a reaction from us like during the game. Like if I scored, I go bananas. If I concede a goal, I would kick off. But now there's literally nothing. Like yesterday, the Werner scored, and I just said, "Oh, there's no surprise there." Like, that was my reaction. I just don't care about it anymore. To be honest with you, personally.
Even when Andy Carroll come on.
Say again.
Even when I put a tweet out, so when Andy Carroll come on, I said, "Well, I put a sarcastic tweet. I don't know what you're saying." And said, "So well, bring Andy Carroll on. That'll make it all right, won't it?"
I mean, just going off subject, Chad. One person we actually haven't mentioned yet that played last night was Joe Linton. What did you think of his performance?
Was he on the pitch? I didn't see him.
He was. I thought he made quite a few interceptions. I think that was about it, but he was running around.
My
God. We need to cash in on him at the end of the season, surely.
Got to. If we get relegated, he might rip it up in the Championship. God.
I mean,
he's just kill Joe Linton, like 40 million quid, I still can't, but there's something dodgy going on with that deal. I've always said it.
Well, I mean, if one transfer doesn't sum up a club, then it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, who scouted him? Honestly, who scouted him?
I mean, there's a difference. Go on, sorry.
I just honestly, man. I mean, nothing surprises me with Newcastle anymore. I mean, we just make mistake after mistake after mistake. Like, there's just so many things wrong. Like, and it's one of the reasons why we're in the position we're in. Obviously, the main issue just being, well, Mike Ashley just wanting to survive every single season. That's the biggest issue, and then having a manager that's just instructed basically just to, just do the bare minimum and just survive. And I mean, honestly, Steve Bruce just he listening to him like just depresses the hell out of me. It just to be like we want to be proud of our club. We want to be proud of our manager. Like we want to listen to him speak like we heard Rafa speak. Like at least Rafa inspired all of us. Like just the way he spoke about Newcastle, the way he spoke about the city, the way he spoke about the fans. That was the difference. Like you hear all these pundits like comparing Rafa and Bruce. Like it isn't just about comparing them in terms of the football that they played. It was the passion they had. It was the way they spoke about like the club that we love. Like Steve Bruce doesn't speak about Newcastle in a way that we want him to speak about Newcastle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all see it.
That's his dream job, like he says. He should be bursting with pride. That's his dream job. When he comes out, he praises the opposition. I mean, in games, he's praising the opposition. Let's hope we can get something. Friggin' hellfire. He absolutely boils my piss. I cannot stand the bloke. I did a video on my channel, a recorded video, and I think I spent half of it went about Bruce. I just kind of hate him.
Yeah.
Absolutely detest the fella. He just absolutely inept clown cabbage head. God.
AJ, Steve Bruce said at full time that there was positives to take out the second half. I mean,
God.
Can you point them out to us? Because I can't see them.
Well, I mean, he's clutching at straws, like, definitely. I mean, I think he's trying to be upbeat and be positive. But, I mean, he'll know as well as we do. I mean, yeah, the second half was marginally better than the first. I mean, we definitely got on the face a little bit more second half and definitely pressed them a little bit higher up the pitch. But, I mean, we created nothing, really. One chance, yeah, Kepa made a great save. But apart from that, absolutely just didn't show any real quality. Didn't create anything. I mean, we're just clutching at straws, aren't we, really? And so is Steve Bruce.
It was like watching with 6 games ago, I think, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to Bruce Ball.
Yeah. So Man United next game. What's your thoughts on that?
Beat heavily. That's 2 words to sum it up. Beat heavily. 4-1 or something, Man U. I reckon it'll be.
What, you can see we're scoring?
Maybe I'm being a bit generous there. 4-0 then, if you're going to be nitpicking.
I think it's given it's Steve Bruce's old stomping ground, isn't it? So he'll want to go there, and hopefully we'll put up a fight against Man United. I know I'm being a bit.
I know I'm doing a joke.
Another thing I want to touch on as well is that, I mean, I've seen plenty of fans on social media who will come out and say, well, no one expects anything from these games. These aren't the games that are really going to be. They aren't the games that are going to keep it up, which is fine. But you can't put emphasis on beating the teams that you should beat, because there's no given right to beat any team in the Premier League, no matter who you play.
No.
So you can't just pick out these games and say, oh well, we're targeting this game, we're targeting that game. I mean, Brighton have proved that. They went to Anfield and beat Liverpool at Anfield. I mean, these are the type of games that are maybe gonna get out with this, to go at Old Trafford and get something. Right, we might not win, but go and pick up a point. Like last night, go and try and pick up a point.
Yeah.
It's going to be a performance maybe against the top team that's gonna spark something, or spark the team into life, give it a bit of confidence. We can't just keep rolling off these games, ticking off these games. Oh, Chelsea, Man United. Oh, we don't expect to get. Oh, we'll just roll over and we'll just focus on the teams that we should get something from. That's not how you can't approach games like that. You just can't, and it's not something that I can sit back and accept from any fan coming to me in saying that. It's just it really that winds me up more than anything.
I think going into the game last night, I think we went in with the mentality that we were already beat even before we kicked the ball. And 5 minutes in, the way Chelsea started and the way we started, you could tell that there was no sort of ambition. There was negativity all around the players. The heads weren't down. They weren't up for it. You know, you just thought, well, this is going to be a long game. I may as well stop watching now, because that's the feeling I got 5 minutes in.
Well, you could see that as soon as the first goal went in.
Yep.
As soon as the first goal went in, well, I mean, the captain's head was looking at his feet. Not really trying to inspire the players around him, saying, like, come on, lads, we're only 1-0 down. Let's go again, try and sort of see if we can nick a goal and then make a fist of it. But nothing. Yeah,
I honestly thought we could, given Kepa was in goal and the defence wasn't the best that they could put out, but they still put 3 out of Azpilicueta, Rudiger and Christensen. So I thought, 1-0 down, let's go and have a go, try and cause a few problems, have a few shots and see what he's like in goal. But
if you're doing your tactical thing on that, you would say Kepa, Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta. Say, well, we've got to be targeting these, get at them, and they're going to cause. We're going to force them into mistakes. Said Kepa's well documented having the odd flap. He comes for a shot, he misses it. Just put him under pressure. We hardly did it. He had that save from Willock, and that's the only save he made. Only decent save he made. We should have really got at them. Azpilicueta, I say, if we got in Azpilicueta's face, he wouldn't have caught San Maximin in the month of Sundays. Or even Fraser for that matter. Somebody down that right wing, down his side, really bombing on, it would have forced Azpilicueta back. Rudiger, he's got a mistake in him. Christensen's not that great either. So we should have really set out to target them 4 players to really get in the faces and force them into mistakes, and we didn't do that.
I think the thing that winds me up is that Barnsley played better against Chelsea than what we did. I mean, that's embarrassing.
Well, we're embarrassing full stop. I mean, yeah. Barnsley only got beat by the 1 goal, and by all accounts, he played well.
Yeah.
Where's that performance when we have to play them in the league? You would think, if you're a Newcastle player watching that FA Cup match, say, well, we should have a good chance. There was nothing, because he was on the touchline, Bruce. stood there, hands in his pockets. Just beyond belief.
Just before we wind it up, have anybody else got anything else they want to say?
How you got to say, Jay?
I was going to say, because he says that he's got a lot of steam that he wants to let off, so that's why I've asked.
No, I mean, I think I've pretty much touched on everything really well. I mean, I could sit here for hours, but I mean, it's not gonna do any good, really, is it?
No. Man, I've just put a new video out on my channel. I'm gonna keep my channel going. And I've hit 250 subscribers, so I'm keeping it going.
All right, there's no need to advertise on other people's channels. Well, thank you both for watching, for taking part even. For everyone that was watching, if they liked the video, please hit the like button, and then when you're there, hit the subscribe button. We are trying to do as many videos as we can, and we've got a Manchester United review video coming up during the week as well, so look out for that. But Stephen, AJ, thank you as always for your time, and I will see you next time.
No problem. Take care, lads.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.